classic TV and movie fans. Rick 9G here. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I'm so happy to be with all of you. What a wonderful time to be on the channel, to do a live stream, and I'm so appreciative to all of you who've already started to come on. There are likes. People are already hitting the like button. People are already coming into the live stream. As always, a great way to start is by letting me know and everyone else know where you are saying hello from. What state in the United States. Maybe you're an international viewer, Canada, Mexico, maybe from across the pond. We have people from even Australia watching us in live streams. So make sure to let me know and I'll shout some of you out. That's why we do these live streams. Welcome to everyone. Our first comment of the day, Alondris Ferguson. Nice to see you, Alondris. Great to have you with us. ATM, Tony Gilbert. ATM, thank you so much for your messages and for your awesome support. Justin B, Raul Duke, Mannix, you're watching Mannix, awesome. Hogan's Heroes, Clive, that is awesome. What episode? Let us all know. John, nice to see you. Las Cruces, New Mexico. Our first chime in. Ooh, Taxi. That's a great show. Taxi is a great show. I don't think it's as funny as I thought it would be, but it's funny. Our first international viewer, Martin from Ontario, Canada. Look at this. Oklahoma, Newport, Washington. We have a Newport here in Newport Beach. So very, very cool. Jerusalem, Israel. What a great city. Wow. Very cool. I thought you were going to say, because I know there's a Jerusalem in the United States, but you're like, Israel, that's the legitimate Jerusalem, like the first of its kind. Wow, so many viewers on the live stream. I appreciate all of you, and thanks so much for all the likes so far. Awesome. Thank you, John S. Thank you for the like. Thank you for coming onto the screen. I know people are doing things and work and busy and chiming in. I know it's really late on the East Coast, but this is what I can do. I can't really come on during the weekends life, but right now I'm able to come out every once in a while on Mondays at this time, which is when I'm off work. I'm off my 9 to 5, let's say, other than my YouTube work. So I appreciate all of you. Virginia Beach. Awesome. And our question of the day, I don't really have any agenda or anything on here. I just want to talk to you classic TV shows and movies. Questions are always welcome. Feel free to ask your questions. If you want your question to stand out, a super chat is a great way to donate to the channel, but also to get your comment up there for us to see and to highlight so that I can read it, say hello, and so forth. But if not, feel free to ask it anyway in the chat, basically, and I'll get to as many people as possible. Because when there are tons of people on here, it's sometimes difficult to get to everyone, but I like to get to everyone at least once. That is my goal. I don't know if I've ever said that. Well, actually, no, I've said it a few times. My goal is to at least say hi to everyone at least once, if that makes sense. It's a hard goal, but at least if I said to you, if I corresponded with you in some way, that is like a thing. That is like you are checked off on the list. And I might say hi later, but at least everyone once, right? Thank you, Tiffy Ford 99. First time watching live. Gabriel, thank you for joining the live stream. Hello from Princeton, West Virginia. Got Gilligan's Island. Well, since you mentioned it, I have my SS Minnow 3-hour tour shirt for you. So all Gilligan's Island fans, I've got you covered right now. Hey, Sally, nice to see you. I've got my Power Rangers red Tyrannosaurus Rex cup. Also got some smart water. Hopefully in this live stream, if I drink some of this, my IQ will go up. It's pretty low as it is, so we can hopefully raise that up just a little bit. Hogan's Heroes. Wait, Boss 20, how are you watching Hogan's Heroes and Munsters? You have like 2 screens going on. How could you focus on both episodes? I couldn't do that. I sometimes multitask. I mean, being a pilot, you have to multitask, but I don't know if I can enjoy like a comedic TV show at once. Wow, almost 80 of you on here at once, which is awesome. That is so cool. That is so awesome. And thanks to all of you for just the amazing support on the channel. Classic cartoon channel, probably won't be continuing that. I'm gonna have other stuff on that channel. Stay tuned for an announcement on the second channel. Big stuff coming there. I don't want to announce too much until we have things set up, but I'm going to be honest. I really tried to do a second channel with classic cartoons, and honestly, I'm not passionate enough about cartoons to make that channel. And so it's going to be a broader channel. I'm going to pull back, and you're going to see what it's going to be about, what the topics are going to be about, and hopefully you like it. But I'll guarantee it'll be more Rick 9G, and it'll give me more opportunities not to close myself just to classic TV. To classic cartoons. It was a little bit too much for me. I realized how much classic cartoons I really didn't watch, or at least maybe I kind of grew out of it. Not that cartoons, I can enjoy a good cartoon, but I don't think it's just different from live action. I don't know. I can't explain it. And I always say that what sets my channel apart and what I always try to do is to make sure that my channel basically led with the passion that I had for a show. And so without that, I don't know. I just don't want to be the YouTuber who just makes something on anything. I like to do it on something that I watch, that I know, that I understand. So, yeah. Linda, I am a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. So the original stuff, going all the way to Zeo, I watched. But after Zeo, my interest basically went away. So, yes. Wow, Gabriel, great shows. You say Batman, Alf, Dukes of Hazzard, Hogan's Heroes, Munsters, Gilligan's Island, I Love Lucy. All great shows. Lord Beerus, you have to say your coin and currency videos are just as fascinating as your classic TV content. I recommend everyone to go check it out. Well, thank you. Yeah, on my Instagram, I started a new little Instagram on coins and currency, and it's really cool. Everyone has them with them in their pocket and money, and these are cool, interesting things. I've always been into coins and stamps and things, and so that is mostly focused on like U.S. currency and just all the interesting things about our money, the things that we use. More about the classic money, not necessarily classic now, but everything from $1 coins to pennies. A lot of cool stuff. So anyway, there will be more about that. Ooh, great question here. We're starting with great questions. As always, feel free to ask questions about myself, about the channel. I'll get to as many as possible. And Super Chat's a great way to be able to say hello and to be able to highlight your comment. Favorite Seinfeld episode? Oh, I have a lot. I love being asked favorite, because favorite usually means one, but I always give you like 3-4 answers because I can't narrow it down to one. So I'll tell you a few of my favorites. Let me see. Seinfeld episode that I really, really love. There are so many. I love the soup nasty. I know you know what I mean, but I have to be careful with that word on YouTube, or I could have issues. But what else? There's so many. The contest is a good one. What else? Oh man, there's so many. I can't even think. The marine biologist is probably one of the best episodes ever. There are so many. Let's see. The subway episode is called The Subway. The handicap spot. The parking spot with George moving the cars. Yeah, I could go through all the episodes. I just love it all. I love Seinfeld so much. Obviously, season 1, season 2, raspberry. But the other stuff is amazing and wonderful. Hey, Brian. Nice to see you, Brian C. Michael says, love all of your material, Rick. Well, I appreciate that so much, Michael, for saying that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on Tubi and on Pluto TV. It's free. You can watch it. There are commercials, but it's free. And so, awesome. Hey, Sally. That's awesome. That's funny. Send me all your pennies. No, I love currency and stuff. Like, even pennies. I have a thing where it's like, I would love some way where I can get, like, people's pennies, even pay for them. Like, I collect them. And so that's kind of a random thing. I'm into money and currency. And that's a hint of what will be coming to the second channel. Currency, money, and stuff. So I basically said it there. Yeah, the soup eccentric is a PC. Without getting into that, because I don't get into that stuff, it is what it is. YouTube censors stuff, and it can shut down streams and stuff, and I don't want that to happen. So to keep doing this, I need to abide by the rules. And that's just it. Okay. Oh, the opposite. Yeah, so opposite. So everything he does is the opposite. There's a lot of cliche episodes, of course. Jimmy's good. Kramer at the end. They think he's mentally challenged, which is wonderful scene right there. It's amazing. Great show. Great show. Yeah, my parents watch Coach. I never rewatched it as an adult. I watched it when it was really happening. I was too young to understand it. Annie, last week you were the talk of the chemotherapy lab. No worries, I'm still in remission from my neuroblastoma. Oh, wonderful that you're in remission. You went to keep a little one company as she went under chemo. Aw, poor thing. Yeah, there's always definite things out there. Thanks for the support, Lord Beerus. Mission Impossible. I've never seen the movies or the show, but I mean, it was okayed by Lucille Ball, so maybe I should watch it. Get Smart, I like, but I can only really watch maybe 2 episodes back to back, and then that's it, and then I kind of burn out. And so maybe I got to get into Mission Impossible. Brian, nice to see you. You are awesome. Nine patients watching my channel. That is awesome, Annie. You're awesome for spreading the word. That's what I tell people. The best thing you can do, because I know a lot of people ask, Rick, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? It's not even money. I don't seek that. Yes, you need money to live and stuff, but if you could literally tell people about my channel, if you could share your favorite video, the coolest video, the most interesting video, the one that made you laugh the most, just share it with someone. Show it like physically with your phone, send them a link, send them an email, send them a text message with the link. Just verbally tell them on the phone about my channel. If you do that, it's absolutely free. It takes a couple seconds and I would appreciate it. Word of mouth is how a lot of my channel has spread, so I really appreciate that so much that you do that. Marco, you're watching Hogan's Heroes. What episode are you watching? Well, thank you, Kevin O'Toole. You are enjoying the channel from Pittsburgh. That's amazing. Miss Backstager, I love that Hogan's Heroes episode. Go light on the heavy water. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Such a good episode. Oh, Annie Oakley's amazing. I was born on the same day as her. If you know her birthday, then you know mine. Jeopardy. I love the classic Jeopardy with Alex Trebek. I have some Alex Trebek things here. His coaster. And I also have one of his ties. If you're a fan of Jeopardy, if you don't know, I had a special video where I was allowed to go into his house and I bought some items from his house. It wasn't a requirement. I bought his tie. I bought one of his Jeopardy jackets. If you want to see it, let me know in the chat. I can show you. It's readily available. Oh, Power Rangers Once and Always. I don't have Netflix, so I haven't seen it. Yeah, Sid Caesar is amazing. It's a mad world. Let me see here. I'm going back to the comments. Part of this is obviously keeping up with the comments, and I try to stay with as many as possible. Oh, wow, why am I so behind on these comments? Rick, what is going on? Okay, there we go. Well, Rick, you do know you have the best content. Well, thank you, Annie. I appreciate it. What are you all up to? What shows are you watching? Which Rick 9G video which did you watch last? And which one did you enjoy probably the most? I would love to hear that. So, John Swanner Music, I think your favorite video is where you visited the Laurel and Hardy Steps. So, actually, I did not go to the Laurel and Hardy Steps. Those are the Three Stooges Steps. They are not the same. They're 2 different locations. In the future, I will visit the Laurel and Hardy Steps, which, again, are different ones. But I have gone to Laurel and Hardy locations. You may have mixed those up. But I have gone to several homes that were actually in Laurel and Hardy films. And so, that is awesome. Let me see. Oh, Gene, you're classic Jeopardy. You're talking about before Alex Trebek, Art Fleming. Wow, these are things that you can probably watch and then remember the answers, right? Because it's so long ago. It's not like the new fresh information. Thank you, Jared. I'm glad you liked that Alex Trebek video. I wish I could do more of those. It is pretty intense to go. I've never been to an estate sale other than that, and it was intense, but good intense. Nothing too crazy, but I'd love to do it again and maybe not get as many items. I got a lot of stuff. I got huge awards. I got a lot of stuff just to commemorate him, and I'm happy. I can celebrate part of his life by getting some of the things. Oh, Caleb, I love making that video. Last video of mine, Fred Mertz's theme song. I may revisit that topic and talk about it. There is one exception that I have done to that, but yeah. I don't like to reveal things because people may copy it. Copycats. Ooh, Beverly Hillbillies. Well, ads are a thing, everyone. Without ads, I can't be here. And remember, Lucille Ball had ads on I Love Lucy. Every show that you watch has ads and had ads. Without those ads, they will not exist. So we kind of have to deal with them. That's kind of the world. I should host an educational game show, according to Lord Beers. Thank you, Scott Grammer. You love the Three Stooges Steps video. It's great that the place still exists. And the sewer covers and the handrails are the same. You can match those, and the video, they're exactly the same, which is nuts. Over 100 years. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I have been to the Batcave. Yep, it's called the Bronson Cave in the Hollywood Hills or Mountains. Yeah, yep. I just didn't film it. Welcome Back, Cotter. I've never seen that show. I've heard of it, of course. Gabriel. I actually was. How could I say? Wait. I'm sorry, where am I? Oh yeah, I went to Bob Denver, the same university as him. We went to the same school. So just keep that in mind. Oh yeah, Superman with George Reeves. Quiet Please with a $50 super chat. Quiet Please, you're amazing. Should I stay quiet now? Yeah. Okay. Back. Turn the sound back on. I appreciate you, Quiet Please. Thank you so much. And we're going to highlight you for being the first super chat of the day. And not just any super chat, a $50 super chat. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Felipe Morris, or as Lucy said, Felipe Morris. Without Felipe Morris, there would be no I Love Lucy. Easy as that. Whatever we can say, I mean, I'm not promoting that company or cigarettes, but it's the reality. Without it, no I Love Lucy. It sponsored the show. So, yeah. Quiet Please, have you visited the Lucy Museum in Jamestown? Absolutely, I have. Not only that, but I made 3 videos on my trip. One that is exclusively I Love Lucy, one that is New York City centered, and one that is Buffalo, New York centered. So, in Niagara Falls. Check those out. Just type in Rick9G New York. They should come up. Tiffy499, you watched my latest video on I Love Lucy. It was really good. Well, thank you. I'm working on one very soon. Should come out soon. It should be the next video that's coming out. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. The Bob Ross movie. I've heard of that. I don't know if I'll be watching that, to be honest. Family Affair. Oh, Ed Reed. So you say you watch Family Affair. Are you a big fan of Kathy Garver? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Love to hear what you say. What you have to say about that. Just mean her as a woman, actress, and so forth. Since you're a fan of Family Affair or Sebastian Cabot, either or. My 3 Sons, awesome. I did not know. This is good, Gabriel. There's a Superman museum in Metropolis, Illinois. Now, do you mean Superman Christopher Reeve, Superman centered, or just in general Superman, like all the incarnations? You've been watching Tom Henderson Bewitched, the complete series. Like, are you watching it beginning to end, or? So Gabriel asked me, what got me into classic TV? Well, that's a good question. I've answered it a couple times, but I'll be happy to answer it again. So with classic TV, there was no one that got me into it. In fact, it was all due to Lucille Ball. I used to watch cartoons, as most kids do, and if you notice, sometimes how network TV is, they play certain shows in the morning, and so they had cartoons, and then after cartoons, they would go to live action stuff. The live action stuff that led after cartoons was I Love Lucy, and I just stayed watching it, and I thought it was hilarious. And I didn't know who Harpo Marx was. Remember, this is a first generation American, me. And so, I mean, my parents knew about John Wayne and stuff, but they didn't, it's not like they taught me about the American culture in that way. Like, they're like, hey, we're going to pop in John Wayne so that you understand who that is, you know? I learned about John Wayne through I Love Lucy. And then I learned that he was, you know, famous, and most of my life, believe it or not, was self-taught. My parents taught me a lot, but remember, this country was very new for me in the sense of I had to learn things my way. And so a lot of it was being self-taught. And so a lot of this stuff, even YouTube, I taught myself. That's just kind of how it works. So that's a good question. So yeah, Lucille Ball, every guest star spread me into the classic stuff, and I learned that I love the Marx Brothers, which led me to Chaplin, which led me to Laurel and Hardy, which led me to John Wayne and Westerns, and we keep going. Gilligan's Island, and that led me to other 60s stuff, and the list goes on and on. Watch the 80s stuff and the 90s stuff I used to watch pretty much when it happened, you know, when it actually came out. All right, continuing on. Yeah. So I love your comments. Keep your comments up. Keep your questions coming. If I didn't get to you, keep going with the questions because I definitely want to hear what you all have to say, what shows you're watching, what have you enjoyed on the channel, what you are looking forward to more of on the channel, of course. There's a Lucy Museum in Granville, Tennessee. Now, how good is it? Three's Company is great. Three's Company is one of my favorite shows. In fact, I would say it is my favorite show of the 70s. I'm actually not a huge fan of shows from the 70s except Emergency and Three's Company. Those are the only two. I think, and I guess you can say Sanford and Son, but Sanford and Son's a little lower than those two, believe it or not. And I just think the comedy changed so much because from the 60s was very similar to the 50s. It was still kind of pure and still kind of nice for the most part. And the 70s kind of went wild. I would argue they went two directions. They continued on the I Love Lucy stream of wholesome, and then others went a little bit over the edge and got a little too rough. And that wasn't into me. Or that wasn't my thing. Jerry Anderson. Nope, I've never heard of him. Never review Leave It to Beaver, huh? I've never watched the show, so I couldn't really talk about it or say much about it, because when I do things and when I make videos, it comes from experience, and yeah, I teach myself a little bit, but again, it shows that I have passion for things that I really like and that I'm interested in covering for you, and if I'm not, I won't do it. As simple as that. I just won't cover a show for the sake of covering it. That is my rule. Man of Many Voices says, Rick, I don't know how good the I Love Lucy Museum is. Haven't been yet, but it's only 45. Oh, you need to go. You need to go. That's very worth it. I traveled across the country to see it. And then I went to New York City. You should watch my videos, man, of how I went, because, I guess that spoils it and what happens in the museum, because I show everything. But I took a bus from New York City all the way to Jamestown to see New York, but also to get there, because there's no airports nearby, and there's only, I believe, a train, which does take a long time. And so the closest thing is Buffalo, New York. And then when I went there at the time with the person that I was with, I drove from basically Buffalo, New York, and then flew. That was our flight point, if that makes sense. Yeah, I have done Twilight Zone. Check out my Twilight Zone playlist. Links are in the description. Dramatic shows that I like, Twilight Zone's definitely one of them. I Dream of Jeannie, great show. I love it. I've covered it pretty extensively. One of my most popular videos is bloopers on I Dream of Jeannie. It got close to 1 million or over 1 million views, which is amazing. Yeah, Rebecca Murphy says a lot of classic TV shows are on Tubi. Watch them, but don't forget to come back to me to hear the behind the scenes. Or maybe you can watch one of my videos and you're like, I need to watch that video again. Like if, by the way, all of Gilligan's Island, every episode for free is on, I think it's Tubi or Pluto TV. Check it out. You can correct me which one it is. But let's say I make a video and you're like, oh, I didn't see that one. Just go watch it on demand. It's wonderful. It's free. And then you can, enjoy what you watch. Thank you, Randy, our wonderful moderator, for coming into the live stream. Yes, I love to cram a lot of information into an episode. Not to overwhelm, but I like to focus on one topic. That's like my thing. And then once I focus on that topic, I throw in little tidbits here to kind of highlight it, and then I end with the topic. So yeah, I don't really try to invent the wheel. I think when I created my channel, it was creating the wheel, and I created a system, and I'm kind of sticking by it. So yeah. Tom Henderson, first Star Trek. I haven't been able to get into it. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, though. I love Next Generation. I love Deep Space Nine. I've watched them, and I could watch them all the time. I think that was a sweet spot for me. And then Voyager, lost it for me. I watched it into season 3 or 4, and then I didn't even get to 6 of 9 stuff. And yeah, so John Lancaster, didn't you go to Stan Laurel's last apartment? I did not. No. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. I've done a whole video on Ernie Kovacs and his last hours driving, where the roads that he took before his untimely car crash, which took his life. And I've done stuff like that, and I'm gonna do more stuff like that. So yeah. I do not collect Funko Pops. Not a fan. No. Let me see. Keep it coming. Keep it coming with your comments, your wonderful messages. We have been on the live stream for 27 minutes so far. Thank you so much for the super chat. Quiet, please. And you all being so awesome coming up here on this, I was going to say Friday. I guess I want it to be Friday. No, I'm enjoying Monday. On this Monday evening after work, coming late from work. Hopefully we can just enjoy, keep talking classic TV and movies. Such a wonderful thing to be able to just talk with you. Home Improvement is top 3 favorite shows of the 1990s. I would say Home Improvement, Seinfeld, and Family Matters. Not in that order, to be honest with you. I would say Seinfeld first, then Home Improvement, then Family Matters. Then Perfect Strangers, but I would argue Perfect Strangers is more of an 80s show, even though it did go in it's an 80s thought out show, and yeah. Scott Finkelstein, have you ever reached out to any remaining cast members for any of these old shows? Stay tuned. Yeah, Randy, it's great to see that it's really cool that some of these classic old locations are still the same. Some have changed, obviously, but my aim is to try to find some of the ones that are still there, and they are, believe it or not. And I have more to visit, more to show you, and more to make videos on. So stay tuned. There's a lot more to do, and a lot more to work on. I'm not a fan of memorabilia. I don't really like tchotchkes and things like that. No, people send me stuff, which is nice, and they're very generous, but I don't do that on my own. Yeah, Schultz is amazing. His face is amazing. And Alf, I did watch it as a kid when it was actually on the air. So I think, early 90s? 80s, early 90s? I actually watched it as like a 5-6-year-old. Yeah. The Dance of Joy. The Dance of Joy, cousin. Perfect Strangers is very funny. I don't think the Perfect Strangers audience has found me because I've only made like 1 or 2 videos on it. But I definitely want to dive deep into that show. It's really crazy because I want everyone on here to be nice and friends and lovey-dovey. But sometimes I'll make a video from the 90s and the people who love the 50s shows will get angry at me. And I'm like, take it down, everyone. It's fine. Smile. positivity. Or I'll make I'll make another show and then the 60s people will be like, no. And it's like, calm it down. There's 1,700 videos to watch. And I am very sure that all of you have not watched all of them. So there's tons of stuff to cover. People just want to watch what's my newest video, but a lot of these videos that I make, you can watch them and they're 4 years ago and they still apply. It's not like, you watch something 4 years ago of mine and the information changes. Not really. The information has been there. Yes. Hulu TV Next Generation is your favorite? Yes. Characters are the best. Stories are amazing. Although the longer storyline of the Jem'Hadar and Deep Space Nine is better, in my opinion, than the Next Generation. And I'm surprised that I said that, but it is. Because Next Generation are only single stories. And with the exception of some, like, season 3 to season 4, Jean-Luc Picard, Resistance is Futile. That was a continuation, but it's just like a two-parter, right? But it's very strange that a story goes on 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 episodes. And the brilliance that Deep Space Nine was able to do that and keep you hooked, I think is amazing, because most shows can't do that, right? I Love Lucy did that with the Hollywood episodes, where you got 15, 20 episodes of Hollywood and you were still able to enjoy it for the most part. So yeah, that's who started that. I've never seen it. I've never seen Trouble with the Tribbles. I have seen the newer version. I've seen both. The Next Generation does, I think, an homage to it, but Deep Space Nine definitely does, and it's amazing. That's an amazing episode. Ooh, by the way, everyone, my allergies are very severe right now. I'm just, you can even see my nose is all that. Big Bang Theory, never seen an episode, probably won't. I mean, who knows? You never say never, but no interest in it. Leave It to Beaver, I have not watched it. Very little interest in it. Do I have celebrities in my phone? I mean, yes, if that makes sense. Like, I think to you they would be celebrities, to all of you. And that would mean, because I think to some of my friends they'd be like, who? But I have the twins from I Love Lucy, the Mayer twins. I have their phone number on here. I have the son of the creator of I Love Lucy on here, Greg Oppenheimer. I have Jim Meskimen, who I interviewed, basically Marion Ross, her son, on my phone. People like that, who I've talked to. Major Hochstetter's son, Lyle Kane, Howard Kane's son. I have his phone number. How old is this guy? Do you mean me? How do I look? I wanted to know if Ivan Dixon ever regretted leaving Hogan's Heroes. I made a video on that, Michael Skinner, on him leaving the show. Yeah, remember the show was canceled, so they were going to have an ending to it. And I don't want to say it was abruptly canceled, but by the time they left for season 6 and they were going to come for season 7, yeah, so they didn't have time to prepare for a final episode. That's what a lot of people don't know. They just think like they were just mean and left you hanging. Well, no, when something is canceled, it's done and you can't get back to it, right? Unless someone brings it back, which is kind of a thing now. But Outer Limits, I saw the 90s stuff, which is pretty good. My favorite Hollywood episode, John Wayne episode, the one where he appears. I also love Harpo Marx. I love the fashion show with Lucy, going to see Don Loper. I love, my favorite is I Love Lucy, what is it? L.A. at Last. Oh, such a good episode with Bill Holden, Eve Arden, Lucy's Nose. Oh, yeah. Yeah, GH fan, and that's what I mean. You think those are celebrities. I think they're celebrities, but, I don't want to pump it up too much in the sense of, some people may be like, oh wait, Britney Spears is on your phone, like her number, or Brad Pitt. Well, no, but these are some classic people who are linked to classic TV. Let's just say that, which I'm very proud to have them on my phone and stuff. I have some other contacts which, unfortunately, I can't reveal right now. yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I have some really cool stuff happening in the background that I can't really talk about, and we'll see. We'll just keep that in mind. So stay tuned for the channel. If you guys are just tuning in as like what is going on, if you're anything into classic TV shows, movies, I Love Lucy, mostly sitcoms, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I do stuff from the 90s as well, but I go back to the Stooges in the 30s, even some Laurel and Hardy stuff, which is 20s, and I'm sure I'll get the Chaplin at some point, which is in the teens. So yeah, and hopefully there's some big stuff coming. I know there is. I'm working on stuff behind the scenes, but I can't, like, other than YouTube, there's some big things happening, and I can't really get into that right now. Maybe in due time. Yes. Favorite Hogan's Heroes episode. I really love Go Light on the Heavy Water. I love the one where Schultz impersonates Clink, or basically they switch positions. So Schultz is Colonel Clink, like he plays that character. I think that's amazing. I love the one, I don't know my name unfortunately, the one where Happiness is a Warm Sergeant, I think. So basically the one where Schultz gets drunk. Yeah, there's so many episodes that I really love. There's one where all the generals are in a room, and then there's like a bomb, and then LeBeau has to crawl into a dumbwaiter and get the bomb like out of there and stuff. Yeah. Oh, the Wet Sticky Bandits. Oh, I love Home Alone and Marv. Oh yeah, I mean Seinfeld had great actors on the show. He was a real big fan of Abbott and Costello. He still is. And he's a big fan of like the Marx Brothers and just all the classics. And they paid homage to a lot of these actors. I mean, even Clint Howard was in it. You know, Ron Howard's brother. He was in Seinfeld playing the murderer in the LA episodes. If you don't know, so just cool stuff. Also, their father. Rance Howard is in several episodes of Seinfeld. And so, yeah. Yeah, Heidi Salih, or Heidi S. Tell them about the Barbara Eden Lucy story. Yeah, Barbara Eden was on I Love Lucy. She was in the country dance episode, and I made a whole few videos on it. So check it out. A lot of crazy stuff behind the scenes on that video. Back to the Future, favorite movie of all time. Oh, yeah. I mean, Seinfeld loves Porsches. He loved the car. He loves Superman. You see Superman in every episode, or at least it's mentioned in every episode. He also eats cereal, or there's a cereal box shown in every episode as well. Wow. Andy Griffith Show fans. Other shows that we have not covered yet. Anyone a fan of Baywatch? Anyone a fan of not the Wonder Years. Not a fan of the Wonder Years. Small Wonder. That was a little robot show. Oh man, I was a junkie, everyone. I was a junkie with all of these shows. I watched like everything. I would go from show to show to show to show. Price is Right. I was on Price is Right. I wasn't a contestant, but I was in the audience once. Elaine. Yeah, I mean, all the characters were good. George, Kramer. I think as I've grown up, I've been able to appreciate all the characters in different ways. Kramer was initially my favorite, and then I understood why George was great in his own way. And then Jerry is cheesy when he acts, but that makes him amazing. And Elaine is just so bad. Like, she is just bad in every way, her character. And not the actress, not Julia Louis-Dreyfus, but Elaine. And I like that about her. They're all very flawed, very not great characters, meaning like they're not great people, but you love them. Yeah. Mrs. Trumbull or Mrs. Howell. Christopher Kraft, what do you mean by that? To like just liking their character or dating, or what do you mean? Oh my gosh. Kramer had Schultz tendencies? Yeah, I mean, Kramer said, or Michael Richards, who played Kramer, said he based a lot of his character on the Reverend from Taxi. And I'm sure, I mean, everyone gets inspired by everyone, right? I mean, Lucille Ball was inspired by Chaplin and the Stooges, even though she didn't have great things to say about the Stooges, which I don't understand. Everyone loved the Stooges, even in real life. And they gave her one of her first starts. She didn't even say great things about the Marx Brothers. I think Lucille Ball is a great actress, but then, you know, there are things about her in real life that are a little challenging to accept, but it's true, and difficulties. So I'm very much in love with Lucy, the character. I mean, Lucille Ball's great, don't get me wrong. I just think that, you know, she had to maybe give more credit to some of the people that came before her. Because again, I'm not, I respect all of these greats, right? And so I like when they are given their due diligence or their proper respect. So I don't know much about Steinbrenner, George Steinbrenner, because I'm not into baseball. And so I found out about him through Seinfeld, and I know people who are made from the East Coast who know Steinbrenner very well. It makes sense. It's almost like on the West Coast, Tommy Lasorda, you know, Dodgers, which I'm not really into. But if they would play Tommy Lasorda, I would understand because I'm from the West Coast, and so I get that. So absolutely. Yeah, Lucy was in a Marx Brothers movie. Room Service, yep. Reverend Jim. Yeah, Patricia L. Right now I have, according to this, 86 likes on this video, which is amazing, but we can have that grow. And so it doesn't cost anything to press the like button. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, to leave a comment on my videos. Those are the 3 best things you could do for my channel. They don't cost any money. They take a few seconds. If you subscribe, you just subscribe once to my channel in your entire life, and that's all you need to do. If you like the videos, I mean, that is like currency for my channel. Not that I actually get paid when you like. It doesn't work like that. But that boosts the video in the algorithm. Basically exposes it more. So if you really like a video and you watch it, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't just close it out, you know. Take that a couple extra seconds and do that, and it really does help out. And that's how my channel has grown. That's why it's at almost 150,000 subscribers. I haven't checked the count. We're close. I think we're past 149. I don't even know. I'm gonna have to check. I can actually check, but I honestly haven't checked because I've been so busy. I was at Disneyland on Saturday and a busy weekend. Even today, most of the day, I was just really, really, really busy. And so I can look at my exact count as a channel creator. I can check my exact count. Wow, we're almost at 150,000 subscribers, which is insane. If you aren't subscribed, you can do me the favor. It's free, and it would help me out so much. And we're so close to 150,000. That would elevate the channel so much. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all. Ask and you shall receive, right? If you don't ask, you will not get. I have heard of the Untouchables. I used to watch the 90s TV show, and it was really good. Really, really, really good. I remember it as a kid. Yeah, GH fan, you hate that they never let the Stooges branch out into full-length movies. Well, they actually did. They made full-length movies with Joe DeRita, and they were longer movies. They just weren't great, and I haven't seen them, but I mean that's what everyone says. And honestly, no one compares to Curly and Shep. And that's just it. They were legends, and that's what it is. And I think the sweet spot for the Stooges were those 15 minutes, because no Stooge short went over 19 minutes. Sweet spot, the action was boom, 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 boom. The laughs were boom, 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 and then it's done. It kind of hits you in the face. It's not like this hour-long thing that has a laugh here, and that's what I hate. I don't want to say hate, but that's what I detest about, I almost said it, about some of these shows and movies that, you know, sometimes they sprinkle the humor in there, and it just hit me hard. Hit me hard with the comedy, hit me hard with the sitcom. And that's why sitcoms, situation comedy, they give you the situation, and hard-hitting the comedy comes, right? Yeah. Yep. Scott, have you watched the Lucy Show, her second sitcom after I Love Lucy? Yeah, you should check out my Lucy Show playlist. I have videos just on the Lucy Show. I have another place for Here's Lucy. I don't have tons of videos, maybe 3, 4, 5 videos in there on that. Over 310 of I Love Lucy videos. The way you find it, just go I Love Lucy Rick and IG playlist, or go to the links in the description of this video or any of my videos. You literally go down there, it'll list them, and you go there and it'll take you to the playlist. It's very simple. Yep. Groucho Marx was on an episode of I Dream of Jeannie. I made a video on it. You should check it out to hear what actually happens. I was just reading something and it went boop. Disappears. Why did it disappear like that? Goodness. Thanks all for your patience. I don't understand why the comments are disappearing. It's not they're disappearing, but it was like going up. Okay. 149K, Randy. Absolutely. We'll get to 150. We're getting there. Is it MomMag1109? Hey, Rick. So glad you turned me onto Pluto TV. And don't forget Tubi. Tubi as well. They're just similar things that have different shows and movies. And so check it out. But don't abandon Rick 9G. It's my little gift to you guys, but you give me the gift back and coming back and watching the channel. Don't forget about me, please. Don't leave me, all of you. Ninja Buggy 94. Dude, you need to see old emergency TV show. I have a whole playlist of emergency. Check it out. Check it out. Three's Company reboot with John Ritter's son. I like the original. Hey, Big Hoss, nice to see you. Any how can I say? Any resemblance or any relation to Pawn Stars? Love that show. Yeah, I've watched Emergency and I made videos on it. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, Lucy and Desi made 2 full-length movies. I saw long trailer. It was okay. I wasn't blown away by it, to be honest. I don't know. I think they, in my opinion, I know people like it, but in my opinion, it suffered from it just being too long, and everything was stretched out versus condensed in a situation comedy, and so it wasn't my style. I didn't even try Forever Darling. I heard that was not even most people say it's not even as good as the long trailer, so I thought if I didn't really like the long trailer, it's not that I disliked it, I just thought it was meh. I thought it was mediocre, and it didn't blow me away. I saw it once, and I had very little to no incentive to watch it again, and I just go back to I Love Lucy. And so, yeah. I gave it a try. Gentleman Jim, I've enjoyed your channel for a while, and thank you for bringing back great shows of the past to everybody's attention. Well, thank you, Gentleman Jim, for being a supporter for such a while and for a time, and that means a lot to me. It really, you keep my channel afloat, and so thank you. Stu shorts were the best. Curly and Shemp. I in fact love Shemp a little more. I'm more of a Shemp guy. I think Curly's great. I just think he's big. He's big production. Larry's not big production. Larry's more subtle. I like that about Larry. Mo is just the boss. He's in your face, and then so you got Mo in your face. You got Curly, big arms, big things, and then you got the subtleness of Larry. And then when we have Shemp is more subtle, and he's not boss. He's like a dumb subtle one, and I like that. And his humor is very different from what Curly did, and I absolutely love that about him. He didn't try to copy Curly. He was him, and just his and things were just so good, so good. Oh yeah, I would even argue shorts is absolutely Three Stooges territory. They made the best shorts ever. Long. You love long trailer. Yeah, I know. A lot of people definitely love it. Breaking Bad, never saw. All in the Family. Is that with Archie Bunker? Never interested me. I heard that's like the contemporary or the similar type show to, what do you call it? Sanford and Son. It's kind of like the contemporary, right? Like if you like Sanford and Son. And Sanford and Son I like, but I'm not like obsessed with it. It's this show that maybe I'll watch something here and there. But I feel like, yeah, there's certain shows that I like, but maybe I could do 1 or 2 back to back and then I'm done. But there are other shows where I'm like obsessed with, you know. Yours, Mine, and Ours. I'm not sure. What is that referring to? Is that a movie? I don't know off the top of my head. Benson, I've never watched. Forever Darling gets a thumbs down from Jim's. Hey, Julie Vanderleest? Lest. It's Leest, so I'm thinking it's Lee. Like leak? Least? What'd you say, Julie? Thank you for coming home and seeing me on live. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, James Mason didn't like Forever Darling, who was in it, so he got paid. He didn't even like the product. Wow. It's like, see, I'm glad people are admitting this. Lucy was great in 30-minute comedy, and I think it suffered when she got into like movies and even the Lucy show because she tried to do too much. She had a lot on her plate, but I think everyone has their sweet spot. Even with Formula One drivers, I'm making to Formula One, and some of these drivers are best of all time. They have their time, and then before that, they're not really popular and good. They become champion, and then after that, they kind of fizzle. And same thing with actors. It's just part of life. Oh, Breaking Bad. I'm not into all the violent shows and drugs, and not my thing. So I pass on that stuff. Patricia L., were you the one that told everyone about Larry Hobbs? Do you mean... Oh, what's his name? Yes, I know, from Hogan's Heroes, right? I just can't remember his last name right now because I saw Hobbs. It threw me off. Yeah, he always wore gloves to hide his wedding ring. Well, I did make a video on that. I don't know. Maybe someone else made a video on that, but I certainly made a video on that. Oh, right. Julie R. I saw it the other day. That's why it clicked in my brain. I was just channel surfing the other day, which I don't do much, but Yours, Mine, and Ours popped up. That's why I was like, what is that? Like it just rang a bell. And you're right. Henry Fonda was in it, and Lucy was in it. And Lucy was in like a hospital, and there were all these little kids outside, right? She was looking out the window. Larry Fonda and Harry Fonda was out there, and I was like, oh, this is a Lucy movie, and it didn't really pique my interest. I just changed it. So. Oh yeah, Archie's Place and stuff. Yeah, never saw that. Yeah, I mean, Julian, that's the problem, that they make these reboots and stuff, and as you say, you just say it right here, it didn't seem to be as great as the originals. I'm glad it wasn't, because we don't want anything that's better than the Stooges, but I don't think they can be outperformed. And so, yeah, Larry Hovis, there we go. Thank you, Miss Backstage, I appreciate that. Yeah, he wore a glove hiding his wedding ring because he didn't want to take off as the character wasn't married. And so, yeah, I made a video on that. Absolutely. Yep, I made a video of Carter. Hold That Lion has all the Four Stooges. I made a video on that. Yeah, good stuff. Yes. Yeah, Katori, I don't even really blame Madeline Pugh Davis and what's his name? Oh man, I'm sorry everyone. It's not super late, but I'm having brain farts right now. Bob Carroll Jr. There we go. Sorry. This happens at night. That's why it's difficult to make live streams at night. It's like the end of the day and your brain has been going for all day. Anyway, no excuses, Rick. No, they said they were out of ideas. They were burned out, and it was really tough. And it's like with anyone, age comes, right? Your greatest ideas are gone, and you've squeezed the lemon. Nothing is coming out, right? It's all squeezed up. And so other writers that they tried weren't as great as them. And so the stories weren't good. And so it suffered. And so even though Lucy's funny, she was only funny because of the good writing that she had. She was good. She could bring that to life. But if there wasn't a good writing or good story, what she brought to life wasn't funny. Does that make sense? So it makes a lot of sense to me. Wow, you guys are killing it with the chat, and I appreciate that. Keep them coming. Home Improvement, one of the best shows of the 90s. Madeline Davis wrote various episodes of Lucy's show, and Here's Lucy. You're right. And that was the time that she even said she was out of ideas and she was kind of picking at straws. And I mean, I don't blame her. Woman has been, the Lucy show was in the 60s? She'd been working for over 15 years on I Love Lucy. Imagine writing every week for 15 years, except for like 2 months off in the summer. That's insane. That's insane. Imagine thinking, Rick, for 15 years, you're having a YouTube channel, and I mean, at some point, I would have to rehash my ideas, right? You can only do so much. So, yeah. I scroll, and sometimes I lose my thought. Brady Bunch, you mean? I've never seen the Brady Bunch, so probably won't be covering that. Yeah, I'm not into sad movies, so I skip sad movies. Yeah, Lucy got sick making that movie. I didn't know that, but I mean, like Curly, he suffered for his art and he got hurt. Curly Howard, in fact, he most likely had a premature death. I mean, he didn't take care of his body and health-wise, but he had a lot of blows to the head, a lot of, his strokes were most likely caused from all the hitting, the physical violence, Yeah, Scott Finkelstein. I think Lucy had a short-lived sitcom in the 80s. Gil Gordon. Yeah, Life with Lucy. It only lasted 13 episodes, I believe. It was horrendous, from what I've heard. I may cover it. I don't know. Just as like a case study, if that makes sense. Almost to show people what it is, and to just talk about the show. And there's information on the show and that I could get, and I get information. But yeah, so the point is, we'll see. But it's just important to cover this because it's mostly history, right? So, Troy F. Aloha, finally get to catch your live stream. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on. I would disagree with that, and we can disagree here respectfully. And I'm not calling you out. It's just an interesting note. If Harry Cohen had allowed Curly to rest and get better, he might have continued as a stooge for many years. He had permanent damage, unfortunately, with the blows to the head. If you get blows to the head and you get brain damage, unfortunately, you don't just rest and get better. When you lose brain cells, you don't recuperate them. And so, especially during that time, and medicine wasn't really advanced enough to understand that and to know where strokes came from. And he was a drinker, unfortunately, and a womanizer, and that takes a toll on your body. And health-wise, he wasn't great either. So it was just like a whole mix of things. So unfortunately, Curly did have a play in it, and a lot of health issues are genetic too. So I mean, there's a lot of factors. I don't think it's fair to just blame one guy, Harry Cohn. And I'm not saying he's a great or bad guy or anything. I'm just saying I don't think we just can call him out like that for that. He didn't do great things for the Stooges, but not to his health. So yeah. He did, and unfortunately, a lot of people do have a sad end to their life. So someone said, Haru said, Curly had a very sad end to his life. Yeah, and a lot of TV stars and stuff do, but I also feel that there's a lot of good. I mean, Bob Hope lived to over 100, I think 101, and he was Catholic, and he was really big into that, and he had his Catholic rights, and mostly peaceful life, and Ronald Reagan, and unfortunately had Alzheimer's. But when you get older, you start to get issues, and so it is difficult to see our stars get old. I mean, Lucille Ball could have lived longer, but she had heart issues. John Ritter. I mean, a lot of these people, when you die, it's the last thing that we remember, so it kind of feels sad. So yeah, it's something to keep in mind. What do you think of the reboots of shows with the same? So your comment ended there. So I'm thinking reboots of the shows with the same premise. I'm not into reboots, so I'm not 100% against them, but I'm really not into them. So never watched Gomer Pyle. I know who he is. I watched him act as Gomer Pyle. Happy Days, I did used to see a lot as a kid. Yes. Yep, you're right. Mo did break his his ribs literally on camera, falling on a table, and still continued the scene without skipping a beat. Yep, he was amazing. I made a video on that. Yup. Jackie Gleason. Oh, a lot of actors broke things live when they would perform. Oh, yeah. And some of the blows were staged in soft taps. Some were not. There were a lot of accidents. Yeah, I mean, when you get to over 101, unfortunately, a lot of stuff starts failing in the body. So, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's why, honestly, I've seen these videos where it's like the sad ending of. Yeah, and I'm kind of calling it out in a little bit. No problem there. I'm not starting drama. But it's something that you can say that, I tend to look things positively for my channel. And you could do the opposite and use a channel to look upon it negatively. And I can say that I don't agree with that. You can highlight something that's negative, but it depends how you end. And my worldview is I look at things positively, and that's just me, and that's how it's going to be. And some people don't, and you can make a little bit of money on that, or make a little, they make good headlines, right? People love to see that stuff, and they click on it. So, yeah. Here's Lucy. Yeah, I watch a lot of Here's Lucy. I watched most of the series. In fact, I watched pretty much the whole series of Here's Lucy. Yep. Yes. All right, everyone. We are winding down. And, my opinion. This is my opinion. Bob Weisskopf, Bob Schiller, blessings to them. But they would not have done a better job than Carol and Davis. No. But there were a lot of other problems with Life with Lucy. And not just... See, I don't like to blame, if there's others involved, I don't think we just can blame Bob Carroll Jr. and Madeline Pugh Davis. It was Lucy, too. She was older. And it's harder to be a physical comedian when you're in your 60s, right? Versus when you're in your 20s. Sharpness and jumping and falling, right? Like, not to say she couldn't, but it's not the same. You have to write differently. Now, she's a grandma. So if you're a grandma, that's not really a focus. If you're a mom, you could be a focus. But if you're a grandmother, your focus are your grandkids or your kids, right? And so already that's not as attention grabbing. Like you're almost a secondary character automatically. And so, yeah, there was just, I think the whole synopsis and the premise just didn't work. Like you have the Stooges, it's about them. Imagine having something with the Stooges and their grandparents, right? Like they're old. It's going to be different because then their grandkids are going to be there. So it's just different. And I don't think it works that well. But these are all great things, everyone. All great comments, all great questions. And I love talking about this stuff, everyone. I want to highlight that. I love talking about it, whether I agree or disagree or all these thoughts. They're wonderful. It's great to talk about classic TV shows. And I always like to give my thoughts on things, Let me see. Yeah, Tim Allen, I appreciate that. You start watching my videos regularly because of my Be Hopeful endings. Absolutely. And if you notice, it's not just my ending. It's not just that I end Be Hopeful and that's it, right? I feel that life to me is about hope and about joy. And if you don't make that the focus of your life, then it could be really sad and difficult and challenging. And I think it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be hard. I didn't make this up, but this is a wise saying, and I believe it. The more gracious we are, the more happier we are. So if you're gracious to others, if we say thank you for the blessings that we have, studies show that you will be a happier person. And I try to be as gratuitous and thankful as I can, and I know for a fact that that has made me happier. And so if I could spread that to others, I mean, that's a joy right there, right? So I rather be proud to hear my reputation is to lift people up and inspire people rather than focus on their negativity or on the sad ending of people, if that makes sense. So yeah, so if we can keep things positive, I think it's wonderful. So I appreciate all of you. Hope that resonates with you. Have a wonderful night. I enjoy being able to talk to all of you, reading the comments. I sometimes, Music Girl, go back and read the comments, but mostly after the stream is done, they become comments. They don't stay in the live chat. They kind of change form. So yeah, but I like to read as many comments as possible, and I read most of them, and I answer as many as I can. So just keep that in mind. And sometimes they're a couple days late, or I don't answer them right away sometimes, but yeah. And Julie says it best. I love the be hopeful ending to your videos. That's part of the reason why I subscribe to your channel. Absolutely. Always give a smile. And there we go. And I'm going to continue spreading that, and that's going to continue being a big thing about me and my channel and what I do. Bridget Davis says, you have made my classic TV viewing much more enjoyable. Thank you. I love when you show up in my notifications. Well, thank you. Good night. Thank you I will end with your comment. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks so much for your positivity. Flow. Let that flow. Continue pushing that to other people. Your positivity, your love, your gratuity. It'll go a long way, believe me. We'll see you all very much. Don't forget, always stay positive, always better yourself, and most importantly, be hopeful.